Jumbo, everyone. This is Safari K here. I am the owner of Destined to Travel. I am an LLC and I'm a licensed and bonded and insured travel agency, and we specialize in African safaris. Primarily in East Africa, though we do trips as well to South Africa. We do trips to most safari destinations, but the primary and the most popular one is Tanzania. So that's where my business is. That's where I have vehicles and drivers at your disposal. So it's a personal, private experience, and you will love every minute. You will get used to the drivers. You will have a good time with the drivers. They are just waiting for you. So I live in Eastvale, California. Some people know it as Corona, California. We're in the Inland Empire, about 60 miles east of Los Angeles. So I've been doing this since 2008, and the really nice thing is that I accompany all my safari groups to Africa. I want them to feel comfortable. All you really have to do is follow the instructions that I give you, and I will be there right with you to take all the worry out of it so you don't have to worry. Once you're at the airport, we get on the plane, the rest is up to me. My drivers are there. They're right there to pick you up as soon as you get off the plane, and they're just waiting for you. So the safari actually doesn't just concentrate on the wildlife. It includes some of the cultural diversity, the tribal villages, the community support. And the community support is usually in the way of reaching out to one of the community programs. I happen to support the Leaders of Tomorrow Children's Home in Tanzania, Africa. It is run by Pete O'Neill, and I suggest you take a look at my website. Under upcoming safaris, you will see, or the Africa information, you will see an article about Pete O'Neill and how he came to be in Tanzania. It's a fascinating story, and it's a part of history that you won't want to miss talking to him in person. You will never read his story the way he will tell it in any book, and he is someone that you would love to meet. His school, the Leaders of Tomorrow Children's Home, has 22 now disadvantaged youth that live in the school itself. And Pete and his wife, Charlotte, affectionately known as Mama C, run the school. And I have adopted that community support program as one of the Operation Backpack reach out programs that we do. So all of my guests will bring a backpack that's filled with whatever they need, and I'm always in touch with Pete to find out exactly what they need. So most people say it's the highlight of the tour. They find Pete fascinating, they find the children fascinating, and you never know what one person can do or say that can change a child's life forever. So my guests, if they have talents or skills, even if we're up there for a few hours, they share that with the children. Or they might choose to go on the Make a Difference Safari. The Make a Difference Safari is an individual safari that concentrates on living with the children and being a mentor to the children for 3, 4, 5 nights, whatever the trip actually entails. And it's a perfect way to give back. It's a perfect way to share your talents, your skills, your life story with the children. Because as I said, things that you say or do can affect a child forever. And we want them to have every opportunity that they can. So I have adopted and supported the Leaders of Tomorrow Children's Home under the auspices of United African Alliance Community Center, UAACC, in order for that to happen. We do go up there. All of our safaris go for a few hours. But again, if you're on the Make a Difference Safari, you're there for days. So one guest actually raised enough funds. He raised thousands of dollars in order to be able to offer, to bring solar to the children's home. This was something that was desperately needed because the children in Tanzania, they need lights. When they try to do their homework at night, they need lights. And as often as the lights go out in Tanzania, and other African countries as well, they have no way to study except by flashlight. So we are so happy that they have solar now, and we thank Michael Coleman for that because he actually visited in 2013, and when he came back home, he knew there was something he wanted to do, and I am so proud of him for that. We also had another guest, Millie, and I'm so grateful for her as well because she helped make it possible for one of the children at the Leaders of Tomorrow Children's Home to finish her education. Millie generously donated 2 years worth of tuition so that she could finish the school. She was on the verge of not being able to finish because they didn't have the money, and Millie stepped in and took care of those 2 years, and boy, what a blessing that was for everybody. So she is ecstatic, as well as Pete and Charlotte. So these are the things that we do, and we try to make a difference. We want to make a difference in their lives, and we want to make a difference in our lives because, believe it or not, what we do always helps us as well as them. So I'm very, very happy that we have guests that take the opportunity to help them. So thank you so much. If you go, this will be something that you will experience too, and I would love to take you. So if you're local in the Inland Empire or anywhere in Southern California where you could get to my home for a presentation, I would love to invite you to any one of them. I'm actually having one in January of 2016. Please email me. You can contact me through the website and I will give you the location. But we do have a Let's Go on Safari presentation quarterly, and we always talk about what a safari is really like. Nobody really knows what a safari is really like unless they've actually been on safari. And I have to tell you that most people don't even know that a safari is a fascinating experience. It's not scary. There's no reason to be fearful, although I know a lot of people are. But this is what the presentation is. This presentation will talk about the fears. It'll actually answer all of those questions that you have, and I know you have them. Is it safe? What do you eat? Where do you stay? We'll talk about all of that. Most presentations, I do have someone who has traveled, and I like for the guests to talk to them because they will give you what their feelings are for their first visit. So please, if you get a chance to come, please check my website for the dates, and if there's no date on there, please email me and I will tell you when the next one is, and you can find out a little bit more about the safari. Because honestly, you cannot go into a travel agency today and talk to a travel agent to get all of the answers that you want on a safari, because most people have not been there, or maybe they've been there once, and most people have to pick up a brochure the way I used to do. I don't have to do that anymore. I've been to Tanzania over 50 times. I've taken that many groups, and I can tell you that I've pretty much stayed everywhere there is to stay. So I know what Tanzania is about and what most of East Africa is about. So it's very, very important to me to stay on top of all of the properties. And once a year, I usually organize my own trip in order to make sure that the properties meet the standards that I want for my guests. I'm looking for a special experience, and the only way I can do that is to know exactly what they're getting. So I have to experience it myself first. So I invite you, if you're destined to travel like I am, I invite you to join me on the next safari. Please take a look at the website. The times are detailed out. Of course, I'm always adding safaris, and it might be something that you haven't thought about, because many people actually don't think about it until they talk to me. Once they talk to me, or they talk to past guests, or they see pictures, then they're so excited about the possibilities of what they can see. But please don't think that Africa is always going to be there. Animal populations are declining. One elephant is killed every 15 minutes. Over 700 rhino killed in 1 year alone. Extinction is possible in our lifetime. I would hate for you to miss it. Conservationists do say within the next 5 to 10, some say 15 to 20 years, you just won't see Africa the way it is. And I'd like to take you while it exists in its present state. So if you're destined to travel, like I'm destined to travel, please join me on one of my future safaris. I would love to see you there. Hope to see you on safari. Thanks a lot. Safari K signing out. Bye.